All right, I wanted to make one more video this evening. So this is going to be related to Jack Mallers and his keynote speech at Bitcoin Prague and some of the things he's put out lately. So if you don't know who Jack Mallers is, you should. He's the CEO of Strike, that's his company, which is a Bitcoin exchange. And then he's also a part of 21, which is a new Bitcoin treasury company similar to like a MicroStrategy. And Jack has been a name and face in Bitcoin for several years, and he's a young guy. He is very optimistic about the future and very intelligent, and somebody I hope to meet someday, hopefully. But anyway, I don't know him personally. I don't know anything about him. I do use his products, but anyway, from what I can tell from his speeches and his writings and things like that, he seems to be a really genuine, wholehearted guy. And recently he talked about how we are in a silent depression right now in the United States, and we have been for some time. Maybe since COVID started, maybe since the great financial crisis happened in 2008. Maybe it's since 1971 when we went off the gold standard. Who really knows? But if you look around, there's several KPIs that you could point to that are not going in a good direction. Obesity is on the rise. 2/3 of Americans are obese. Depression rates are higher. Suicide rates are higher. Drug use rates are higher. Net worth and savings, personal savings, are not doing well. Inflation is causing people to not be able to afford to meet major milestones in their life, which are things like getting married, having kids, buying a house, moving out of your parents, whatever it is. These major milestones that people should just be able to do, but they can't. And it's apparent. You drive around any suburban neighborhood in the US and you're going to see multiple cars in the driveway and parked out on the street. And it's not because that family has all this wealth that they've accumulated all these cars. It's because you have several adult children and adults alike, living in the same house, and they're all crammed in there still, and they still have to have all their cars to drive to work. So typically you'd have like a 2-car household, husband and wife, and then young kids, and then the young kids move out and go about their own way in the world. Now you're seeing adult children stay, and they have to work and contribute to the household in some way. And so you got all these cars all over the place, and back in the day, it would have been considered a status symbol. Now it's just a survival symbol. And it's really unfortunate, but it's a growing trend everywhere. And then you see tons of people homeless everywhere. You see more homeless now than you ever did growing up, at least in my case that I can remember. And so we are in a silent depression where we're just getting by, but we're not getting ahead. And so many people don't know what's causing it, and they can't figure it out, and they think there's going to be a solve within the system. And this is where some advice from Jeff Booth really starts to make sense. And that is that there is no fix within the system. Red, blue, doesn't matter. There is no fix. No party is going to make things better. Our money is the root of the issue, and the money is being cheated from you, regardless of who's in charge. Trump just did this big campaign over in Iran where we took our B-2 bombers and dropped a bunch of bombs over there. That cost billions of dollars to do, that we don't have. We're 37 trillion in debt. I can remember being a college kid in my early 20s, and we were in the teens. We were like in 16 trillion in debt just after the great financial crisis. And I thought, wow, that's insane. We're well over double that now. And by the time another 10, 15 years goes by, we're going to be at double again. And the people that are going to have to pay that are the future generations. So Jack made some really good points in his speeches and some of his recent talks, is that we are stealing their time, their productivity, and bringing it to the now and borrowing that. That's what debt is, basically. You're borrowing from the future to spend now. And it's incredibly sick, especially if you care about the future and making better days tomorrow for those to come later on. And I certainly do. I hope you do as well. But there's no doubt we're in a silent depression. Look around, see the signs. But we don't have to be in despair. And the reason being is we have a resource that's never existed before January 3rd, 2009, and it's called Bitcoin. And if you study this enough, you learn how it works, you pay attention to it, you start accumulating some of it, you are going to see that that is the ultimate answer. It is going to make a profound impact on your finances, on your personal life, everything. You will never want to go back to the old system. And you'll see through a lens, literally, that's going to change your perspective on how red versus blue politics work, how money works, why some people are wealthy, why some people are poor. You're going to learn all these things by studying Bitcoin. And it's going to open your mind in ways that you never imagined before. If you've been in Bitcoin a long time and you're watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You would never go back to the fiat system. Once you get into Bitcoin, it's kind of a cliff you jump off of and you just never go back. And it's incredible. It's a lot better on the other side. It just takes some courage, it takes some study, and it takes conviction and patience. So it's not easy. It's not get rich quick. You can't buy and sell and trade Bitcoin and think you're going to get rich quick that way. You will get absolutely smoked. I do not recommend you do that at all. I recommend that you buy as much Bitcoin as you can, accumulate daily, and stack it, and accumulate more than you spend in a month, or in a given time period, and always be doing that forever and ever and ever. And you're going to end up in a very, very good position. There is light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to be willing to follow it. So anyway, I just wanted to make another quick video on that. The Bitcoin Prague conference was just a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week, and there's some really good keynote speeches on it. I'm really looking forward to listening to those. If you're new to Bitcoin, I encourage you to listen to them and hear the perspectives from people that understand Bitcoin really well. Might open your mind to some concepts that you never considered before. And it's always a lot of value add. All the speeches at the Bitcoin conferences are really good, except for from the politicians, but we'll just leave that aside for now. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.